What helps you go to sleep when you don't feel tired? Reading. It's kinda sad, but I've realized books put me to sleep now, even if it's an exciting book. That's not sad, my dude. I know someone who reads to go to sleep. I myself would love to be able to do that. Well, it does mean I read much less than I used to as a kid. That's why it's sad to me. From personal experience, it's possible that you've started associating reading with sleep at this point. Sleep patterns and rituals are one hell of a thing. Try reading in other situations and not reading before sleep for a while, see if that helps. That's probably true, as I was a reading before bed person for probably at least 35 years and would fall asleep like clockwork after just a few pages. I developed near double vision about 7 years ago, and I've not been able to read books most days ever since. End result, I have the worst time going to sleep and lay in bed awake for hours. Pretty sure that the only way I can force myself to go to sleep is a baseball bat, but my doctors say I can't take any more blows to the head. So, white noise, such as rain sounds. I always have a fan on when I try to sleep. Usually that or a quiet AC unit will do the trick. As long as it's just white noise and there's not anything too distinct in the sound profile for my brain to fix on. For anyone interested, mynoise.net is a fantastic site full of noise generators. If you donate to their Patreon, even just a one-time donation, you get access to some more randomized ones with countless high-quality recordings of various nature sounds. Not only can it be good for sleeping, I've also found some of their more lively sounds are a great middle ground between music and silence for focusing on work. Not so much sound you get distracted, but not so silent you can hear your heartbeat. Edit. Someone asked me to add that Alexa and Google Home have built-in noise generators too. Also, if this caught your eye, please look at the replies for some more fantastic suggestions. Thunderstorm sounds on Alexa. It's my go-to. I learned a trick recently that helps me a lot. I count backwards from 99. Slowly. The key is to do it slowly, and I cannot emphasize the importance of that enough. Think the number, then take a pause that feels a little bit too long before thinking the next number, then take another pause. 99, 98, 97, 96. The lowest I've ever counted is into the 60s or maybe the 50s before I fall asleep. Often, I'm asleep before I'm through the 80s. Sometimes I'll lose track of what the next number is because I catch myself falling asleep, so I'll start over, and I always fall asleep quickly after that. Again, the key is to count backward, slowly. Before I started doing this, I used to toss and turn in bed for hours trying to fall asleep. But this knocks me out in minutes. Maybe you're wondering, why start at 99? Why not 100? If I start at 100, I hear Bono's voice from the Rattle and Hum version of Bullet the Blue Sky, saying slapping 'em down. 100, 200, which eventually leads to Am I Bugging You? Don't mean to bug you from Silver and Gold. And that bugs me, which makes it even harder to fall asleep, god damn it. So, I start at 99 instead, because F that. I'm at -486, did I do it wrong? My heartbeat starts beating faster the slower I count. And my breathing tries to sync with my counting, which starts to suffocate me. You are still falling asleep. A long sleep, if I would say so myself. Get up for a little bit. Don't stay in bed for 3 hours when you're unable to sleep. Also, get off your phone. Someone out there is probably reading this at night. On a phone? Yup, it's 3 AM for me and I'm reading this on a phone. I can shamefully say, same. Get a blue light filter. When I try to sleep before I'm tired enough, I'll just end up being awake for hours. Doing something helps me wind down. Blue light filter helps a lot. I have imaginary conversations with fictional characters. Sometimes I vent or ask for advice/guidance, sometimes I give it. Sometimes I antagonize them. Sometimes I'm a character in their universe, part of their story. Sometimes I'm still me, but I got stuck in their universe somehow. Sometimes I appear early in their story and have foreknowledge of their adventures and meticulously plan out how to minimize their tragedies. Eventually I'm dreaming. Cheesy as it is, Bob Ross painting videos on YouTube. He makes me feel safe and secure, talking on and on about his animals. I love falling asleep to the funny stories he tells about his paintings. He calms me down a lot, when I'm feeling anxious or upset, which is mainly the reason I stay up, and I can drift off dreaming about happy little clouds and trees, and a river that Bob fishes in. Or catches a fish, gives it CPR, names it and gives him a little pat on the toot toot and sends him on his whale meow. Edit, oh. Wow. Gold. I guess as is customary I thank the person for it. Well, thank you. I agree, except for when he beats the devil out of his brush. Nothing takes me from a dead sleep to heart pounding quite like that. And by the time I orient myself enough to figure out what happened, he's back to quietly smiling and painting as if I'm not having a heart attack. Bob Ross is 99% great sleep, 1% panic and gaslighting. This used to be what I did until I watched, and rewatched all the episodes a few times. Pretending to be asleep. Fake it till you make it. Kinda, if I just imitate the sounds I would do if I would asleep makes me feel really tired. Same. I just imitate the sounds and think about the feelings I get right before I fall asleep and eventually I'm out. I saw it described as the serial killer method. But basically, if you create a scenario where you are pretending to be asleep, it helps you fall asleep. I will sometimes decide that I've closed my eyes for the night and try not to open them until the morning, and it's very helpful. I do this thing that the US Army does. They start from their feet and only focus on one body part at a time. They completely relax their whole body section by section, and then once completely relaxed they try not to think of anything and fall asleep in about 10 seconds. It used to take about 20 minutes for me to fall asleep by just laying there with my eyes closed, but I tried this last week and I fell asleep straight away. Edit. By the way, I'm only 14 and my only source about the army was my friend's dad in the army, so I don't know if it was just his regiment, but for anyone saying that this isn't true, I don't know for sure if it's true for the whole military. My ma talked me through this when I was a kid too, but we combined breathing. So for example, you inhale and feel your breath go all the way down to your toes, exhale and feel it come all the way back up. Repeat, work your whole body, boom, relaxed. Think it's a yoga thing too maybe? It's a meditation technique I believe. Yes, progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR. My voice teacher taught me this when I was younger. Though rather than just relaxing the body part, which was a little abstract for us kids, we were to imagine each body part sinking into the ground. Balls of the feet go first, then the heels, ankles, calves. Asleep. I'm kinda shocked no one said, "Sleep with me" podcast. I used to have terrible nights not being able to sleep due to stress and anxiety, but dearest Scooter's dulcet tones and superfluous tangents, his words not mine, have definitely helped me to fall asleep. It's the best podcast I never remember listening to, and I can't recommend it highly enough. This is the best. I get a little anxious if I make it past the intro now because I used to fall asleep very early in. I recommend it right when you lay down so that you have plenty of time to enjoy it, and not to be stressed if you hear the story. Eating a banana. It apparently helps you produce melatonin. 36 years old and have had trouble falling asleep my whole life. I recently discovered that a banana smoothie will put me down within an hour. I don't know why, but I'm glad I found out about this. Banana, milk, few drops of vanilla, and 3 ice cubes. Out. It is partly the potassium and partly the ice. The potassium reduces muscle tension, stress and anxiety. Our own melatonin production drops body temps after dark, and ice just gives it a boost, which most people need because of artificial lighting working against it. The milk adds a bit of tryptophan but not enough to have a significant effect. Bedtime stories. They have plenty of them targeted toward adults for the specific purpose of getting you to fall asleep. That and liquid Benadryl. I pretend I'm in a war zone and my bed is an underground bunker. And I have to be very still and quiet in order to not give away my position. I turn on World War II in color roll over on my front and close my eyes. Within a few minutes I am dead to the world. You can't sleep because you're stagnant during the day. Exhaust your body. 30 minutes on the treadmill doesn't count. Much like why Marines can fall asleep anywhere. It's not innate, it's exhaustion. Sudoku or other puzzles. Yeah, I play them on my phone, but at least I use a blue light filter. Inhale, press your tongue against your mouth cavity really hard, count to 10, exhale. Repeat 3 to 5 times and you'll get sleepy for sure. You get tired when your eyes are tired. Blink a lot really fast until you can't anymore. You'll be asleep in minutes. Sleep hygiene is very important. No screens in the bedroom. I find that reading helps a lot. If everything else fails, there is always the book, The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. It's available as a podcast in which it is read to you. That always knocks me out. I listen to a podcast called Sleep With Me. It's basically a podcast that gives your mind something to focus on. He just talks about things and tells stories. It's worked better for me than any meds ever have. Deep breathing. Only think about breathing. As soon as you start to slip and start thinking about the time you tried asking the Domino's delivery guy to swing by Taco Bell on his way, get right back to breathing, only breathing. Deep ass breaths. A long hot shower right before bed. If you are a side sleeper, start by trying to sleep on the hard floor on your back until it is really uncomfortable, then get into bed and sleep on your side. Your body will immediately relax and begin releasing the sleep hormone to guide you off to sleep. If you need to sleep with some ambient talking or noise, there is a podcast called Sleep With Me that is just gibberish and nonsensical talk that will assist with sleep. Honestly, a 1/4 dose of NyQuil does really good things for me. A full dose makes me drowsy as hell the next day, but a 1/4 or even slightly helps me drift off and sleep really well. I'll do this for a week, even when I'm not feeling proper sick, but just tired during the day and not able to sleep well at night. Adding in aerobic exercise 1 to 4 hours during the day helps a lot as well. So does limiting myself to 2 meals between 10 to 4 p.m. rather than eating right away when I get up and later in the afternoon evening before going to bed. It rhymes with exacerbating. Watching Star Trek, the original series. I hope Netflix never gets rid of this one. It's my go-to show for falling asleep. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always tired. I can't believe someone hasn't said this. Weed. That is the best, safest way to go to sleep and works like a miracle. Cannabis. Weed. Smoke fat bowl, a big fat joint of some strong indica stuff. Knocks you right out, you won't dream. Weed. Weed always works. Weed. Marijuana. Cannabis. Ganja. The devil's lettuce. The reefer. Weed and sex. There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. Redditors, subscribe.